To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it.
Well, the governor of Utah is calling on all Americans to temper their political disagreements with civility and avoid a descent into more violence. He spoke earlier with CNN's Anderson Cooper.
You've called this a watershed event in our history, and that the chapter is still being written about what kind of a watershed event is it, what direction the country goes from here. Can you just talk about that a little bit, and how do we all help write that history?
Yeah, so to me, I look at this, it feels like something happened. This is big, and it's big for a reason. Again, somebody who was involved in political speech, political discourse, doing the very thing that is the foundation for our democratic republic, and then losing their life, which makes it harder for all of us to do the thing that we should do. And that's dangerous in a different type of way. And so the question is, we've certainly been building to this. I don't think it's a surprise to most people that something terrible like this could happen. President Trump was almost assassinated a year ago. So the question is this the end of a very dark era? Does this wake us up in a way that we actually change? Or is this just the beginning of something far, far worse? And what will write that history, what that will depend on is all of us. It's not any one person who's going to change this. If we're waiting for a leader from Washington, D.C. or Utah or anywhere else, then it will never happen. And that's why I just feel so strongly that it's incumbent on every single one of us to look into our souls and decide, do we want this to continue? Are we going to be the part that continues, or are we going to try something different?
Joining us now is TAIPEI, the co-creator of the Dignity Index, a tool designed to measure the level of dignity or contempt in political speech and public discourse. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you once said the pandemic revealed a secondary infection of contempt and division here in the U.S. What do you see happening in Utah and across the country that pushed you into this work?
So I think what we're seeing in the country is a rise in the rhetoric that we're using that a lot of people don't understand is rhetoric that leads to violence, that leads to political violence, that leads to division, that sows division, and that continues. The pandemic did reveal that for us. And people don't understand that they are part of the problem. I'm part of the problem if I don't watch my thoughts and my words and what I say to people that reveals maybe hidden contempt versus what we call the dignity in everyone.
And I want to ask you about that Dignity Index. What exactly does it measure, and what's the current trend?
So the Dignity Index is a scale. It goes from 1 to 8. It's a simple tool that we use. This is it right here. And it measures the language that we use in disagreement when we're in conflict with each other. It's not meant to measure everything, but it measures the level of dignity or contempt in that language. Phrases like, those people are ruining everything. That's low. That's on the contempt side of the scale. Phrases like, everyone belongs. I want to hear what you have to say. Those are on the dignity side of the scale. When we're able to talk with people who think differently than we are and ask questions and be curious and admit that maybe we have something to learn, we're rising up on the dignity scale. How are we doing? It depends on the situation. Right now, as you can see in America, we're struggling. Yeah. And I would say we're not doing so well on the Dignity Index.
You know, the U.S. president was asked today about what can be done to bring the country together. I just want to play some sound.
How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。 保湿做得好，肌肤自然通润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美丽。美吧。